Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN, aka Mr. Kingdom Builder, and we got a little bit of breaking newsies for you today, where they just released, as of about 40 minutes ago, some first look images for update V1.0.27, Calling of Courage, and might even include some Season Strife. So we're going to go through everything, first look, give you our thoughts. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us up, because it helps out a lot. So here we go. Now, there's two I noticed here. And, okay, so we'll do this one. This one says 12:48. So this is like 3 minutes earlier. Maybe there was an update or a correction or something. So we'll go through this. So here we go. Heed the Calling of Courage. Content in development. Final version may diff, obviously. New season of Strife, Calling of Courage. The Stone of Peace is in grave danger. Heroes across the land have stood up to protect Tamaris from the threat of dragons. Here's the new map. What? All new map based on the geography of Hollandale. Now, Hollandale is a Zone 2 in Tamaris. So I guess they're saying they're just using that as its base. And really kind of what it looks like is they just made this a lot more greener. So I'm wondering if this, because this looks like Tamaris to me, right? And obviously they're not showing off the entirety of the map, pending if there's areas down here or if this literally is it. But Hollandale was on the west side of Tamaris, on the west side, and we end up now seeing just a lot more flush greenery. We see some desert going into some snowy areas, which again, if I'm looking at some of these border lines, it looks like you should be able to go here. Maybe you can't go all the way up here, but maybe there's a bridge or something here, right, where you can go up. With these mountain ranges up here, it doesn't seem likely that you're probably going to be able to go up, so maybe those are just for aesthetic or visual effects. And really what we're having is some kind of Amazon rainforesty fight. So it looks like this could be Zone 1 if we're kind of going out. And this is the thing, is that it depends. If we're going to Hollandale and Tamaris, then that means that we're probably going to get something that's maybe more circular in nature, meaning that we're going out in instead of going down up, as we've been seeing with the Beleren season map. Possibly, right? Will that actually be the case? We'll have to see, but let's look. So we have 1, 2, looks like 3 down here, maybe 4. I don't see a line going down here that I can really... So maybe this is 4, 5, or this is just like some area that's all the way out. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because that's pretty big. And then we have a 6. Looks like a 7 here. And then is this 1, 2, 3 in the middle? So is that kind of how that's going to play out? So is it Tamaris, and this is Zone 2, Zone 2, Zone 2, and then Zone 3 in the middle? And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? It looks like 7, 8? No. Oh, interesting. So maybe this is a Zone 2 as well. So maybe it's 4 Zone 2s, and then the Zone 3 in the middle. Maybe that could be the case. Right? And then we have 6 or 7 Zone 1s. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so maybe it's 7 Zone 1s, because these are all connecting on the outside. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 Zone 2s and a Zone 3 in the middle. Maybe that's what it'll be. That could be cool if there's more Zone 2s. Now, I've always been more of a fan of having not as steep cutoffs when you're starting out in Zone 1. So, for example, where you look at having like 6 Zone 1s and then you go to 3 Zone 2s. I'm actually okay with going to 4 Zone 2s, and then you can go either straight to the Zone 3, or if you want to do a Zone 3 and then go into Zone 4, then say, okay, well, let's go from 4 to 3, right, in the Zone 3s. And then Zone 4 for final will be 1. Right, where you just have the one main zone. But the idea being that you're trying to encourage and allow as many players and alliances and kingdoms to make it as far as you can in the season, because anytime you cut off the amount of zones, and it's understandable why you would do that, but when you make it steeper, right, when you're going from 6 to 3 compared to 6 to 4, right, you're always going to lose out on some amount of alliances and some amount of players and potentially some kingdoms, especially with the way things are happening now. So... And I mean more so with you having home kingdoms with set zones compared to what it was before that major update a while ago. Okay, let's continue. New gameplay. Mastery skills. Gain stone testaments to unlock mastery skills and use them in battle. Okay. Complete protector quests to gain stone testaments and unlock mastery skills. So this is Open Sesame, difficult rewards. Open a Mastery Monolith, claim 1. Looks like you get 200 points for that. Cash out Darkness Standard 100. Defeat level 45 plus Darkling Patrols. 20 of Standard. Donate 1,000,000 wood. Oh, sorry. Is it a... Yeah, it's 1,000,000. Donate 1,000,000 wood. Would you kindly... Okay, then you get 100 for that. So you're going to unlock mastery skills, and then you'll be able to use those on your heroes. But I don't know if we're seeing any of that. Okay. Oh, here we go with the hero skill switching. Okay, cool. So hero skill switching. Replace existing skills with mastery skills from other heroes. So now you're kind of going to be able to like move them. Almost looks like a war pet kind of approach, but just because obviously it already existed with you being able to swap out skills. So we have skill replacement, and basically it's like you're probably toggling this on and off, or clicking to remove and then clicking to add. Okay, interesting. So now we're going to get, on top of having hero customization, now we're going to have hero skill customization by being able to choose which ones you attach. And I wonder if it's going to be finite, or if literally every single skill is going to be available from every hero, or if there's going to be, like, will there be class restrictions, right? Will there be grade tier restrictions for heroes? We'll see. New season building. The Alliance Siege Bastion. Okay. But it doesn't tell us what it does. So we know that it's movable. We know that it is meant to attack and can also hit flags and other buildings based on the initial write-up. Cool. This is going to be... I will say this. This will be interesting to see how this plays out and how it's tested. I will say, like with anything, there's always going to be a skeptical part of me where it's like, okay, let's not always fully kind of commit to certain things. This, to me, is one of them where, sure, does the idea sound decent in theory, where you can maybe do some long-range attacking on flag structures? Maybe if you're able to hit a spire with this. We'll have to see exactly what all the implications are. And the fact that it is movable, you know, does that mean that you're going to be able to move it in real time? Is this like a destruction time, rebuild time, and it's just a little bit faster than others? You know, or will it operate more like a behemoth, where it's like something you can like put someone in a command and move it? I mean, again, we'll see. But like with anything, I want to see how it plays out, right? Before it's like, oh yeah, let's hard stick to this. And I think that's where the trial and error, I'm okay with seeing that. Okay, new season policies. We have new policies, administrative action, military, healthcare. Looks like those are the same. Medical seminar, medical reform, and then we have so we have rapid. I think that's the same though. So we have captain of the guard and light the beacon. Are those the two new ones? And then bitter end could be. Where am I for that? Where's my policies? Where's my policy thing? Oh God. I'm cray-cray. I don't think I have my policies anymore because I'm in Home Kingdom, right? So I can't see anything. I feel like that's where my mind is going currently, because usually it's supposed to be here. We'll just go back. So let's go. I think, and again, maybe, I just don't remember. I don't think this was it, right? But I think these three could be new, because the last one was, and I'm forgetting what the name of it was, but that's the one where it incurred dead. You got the 5% additional, but you took 2% dead. And cross swords, right? Cross swords? There we go. See, my mind is, I'm everywhere. Okay. The ossuary. So here we go. Oh, wow. So they're basically just bringing this over from rock. Restores 50% of dead legions when Season of Strife ends. Okay. So this is basically just them porting this over from rock. I mean, the one thing I will say is that, at least at the moment, the way that deads work in COD is that you don't take deads from open field unless you have diligence enabled and or cross swords enabled, right? So and you have to have two policies chosen, but I believe you can toggle the cross swords on and off. And someone will have to let me know. I'm unsure if you can toggle on diligence as well, or if it's just a passive once you take it. However, the fact is that there's only two ways that you can incur deads in the open field, which is one of those two policies. Then the other way, of course, is through rallies, where you would take deads if you are the rally E or rally-er, or we'll just say if you're doing the rally or you're garrisoning. And that's, of course, for passes, and then, of course, for cities. So, but now you're going to restore 50% dead. It says the deaths in the battlefield settled, killed in action. So you have 2.25. They're giving you an example. Return ratio is 50%. Return quality is 23.8 million in power. Oh, I see. Return quantity. Oh, so is that just the power for what 2.25 million troops equals out to, if that's the case? And then it tells you what the return time is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, part of me feels like, and again, I don't know if this is the skeptical side, but part of me feels like them adding something like this is laying the framework and the foundation for eventually making it so that way you will take deads in the open field. And obviously with things like reducing the free healing and now them kind of ramping up the RSS healing, which again, we want free healing to be ramped up as well. At least return to its original state and then ramped up, or even just ramped up more. I mean, people have been calling for that for a while. It very much feels partly that every update we're seeing something being taken, not taken, but ported from Rock and or other kingdom builders, and some things can be good that we port, and other things can be this to me is one of those where it's I don't know how necessary it is, right? That's what I think about, like the want versus need. Is there a necessity to have something like this in? Because all this really does is, you could make an argument to say, okay, well, it will encourage more fighting, because if you go out and fight more and you incur more deads, maybe this is something where you look at this and you're like, okay, well, maybe I will take, maybe if I'm a higher spender, maybe mid, but probably more higher spender, now I will consider taking diligence. Now I will consider taking something like cross swords. Maybe they're going to add in policies now that will give you bonuses, but they will incur more deads. I could very much see that being tied in tandem with the ossuary coming out. It's just, again, we're not at a state right now where the average player base is able to have long-lasting, sustainable fights outside of high-spending alliances going up against each other. We all know from the history that the longest-lasting battle thus far was the one between the War and TFS back in SB1. And that is where the fighting, for the most part, lasted a few weeks, like hardcore fighting. They did end up fighting pretty much throughout the entirety of the season from Final Zone, once Final Zone opened. But it was like really hardcore fighting for the first couple weeks, and it was pretty much the longest lasting. But you have to talk about, those were basically the number 1 and 2 highest spending alliances. That is not the average that we would use to kind of establish a medium for, or estimations for, like the entire population, right? If we're just talking about active kingdoms, active alliances going into KVKs. So I don't know. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts are. I just don't know if it's necessary. Here we go. New season heroes. Legendary heroes Urag and Tobin. Urag is cavalry PvP skills. Okay. Tobin, cav, rally, tank. Okay. So we got some more Cav people. I'm sure Pervy Sage and others are going to be excited to have some more Cav heroes in. That's awesome. New artifact. New legendary artifact. Wolf Howl Horn, available in Season of Strife. Cavalry PvP Assault. Okay. That actually looks pretty cool. I like the design there. Part of me feels like I can't tell if this looks like a pipe. Part of me feels like this is like some piping that would go in my plumbing. And then this thing over here, it's almost like a Thor's hammer kind of thing, but they just strapped on what looks like a dragon viper head with massive fangs. Maybe that's just me. New legendary artifact, Mana Stone Hunter, available in update 1.0.27. Mana Stone Hunter's all-arounder. Okay. Looks pretty cool. Mana Stone Hunter. Oh, too bad it's not gathering, right? You'd think it says Mana Stone, but okay. New behemoth, the Miasma, or Miasma Giant. Cool. Basically just gave him a Dr. I was going to say Oz, but kind of like a Venom approach here, right? Or a toxic approach, which I guess is miasma. And then new frame. New feature, Trade resources at the exchange house. Ooh, interesting. So we have 5 million gold. Grants your city 5 million gold. Selling price is 500 gems. Oh, so you can sell 5 million gold for 500 gems. So it looks like 5 million resources gets you 500 gems. Buy resources with exchange coins. Buy resources. Oh, and sell resources for gems. Okay. Interesting. So it's 5 million RSS per 500 gems. But is there a limit? Right, that's the important thing. Is there a limit? Also, what I will say is for those of you out there, and what's funny, I'm going to say this, what's funny to me is I almost feel bad now for not consistently grinding and gathering every single day as much as humanly possible, because I probably could have been like over 1 bill resources for everything, and then I could have came in here, exchanged pretty much almost everything for gems, or at least as much as I could, and then I could have got the amount of necessary gems to then get my watchtower and my garrison building to 25. And then I'd be able to start maxing out the rest of my buildings as well and feel like, hey, there's a little bit more enjoyment here without kind of getting a little demotivated with the grind of all of that. And so it's interesting when you think about that, right? It's like the people who were still invested in continuing to play, kind of feels like you're going to get rewarded now for those of you that have been constantly gathering, right? And you just have a bunch of resources that you're waiting to burn, especially if you're free to play or low spend and you've just been constantly gathering. You have to look at this as potentially a win, right? To an extent, regardless of how you want to consider the rate here, right? Which is what, 10 to 1. The fact is you're still able to get premium currency now for exchanging resources that you're just kind of hard at work gathering, which there really isn't that much more massive of a gathering boost. So like, and I'm talking about something where it's like totally unfair, right? If you're talking about someone who's high spending gathering versus a free to play who's gathering, it's not like there's just an exorbitant difference in gathering speeds. You have to feel good about being able to probably to utilize this, how depending on what the limits may be. So I'm curious to hear from, if you're free to play or low spend, let me know what you think about this. Are you ecstatic? Is this something that makes you feel a little bit more encouraged because now you're like, okay, now I'm not going to have to sit here and worry as much about getting hard stopped at Watchtower and your garrison building, your garrison rally building, because of the fact that you just need so many gems to get those, right, for those materials on the books and arrows. And then we get surprise bonus. Available for servers that open after update 1.0.27 goes live. You're going to have sign-in heroes. Interesting. So sign in every day for rewards. Heroes are here. Sign in for 30 days to obtain all Season 1 epic and legendary heroes. What? So you're going to be able to get all of the Season 1 legendary heroes. I assume that means like a 10-piece, right? And not a 10-piece chicken wing dinner. Just a 10-piece to unlock if you don't have them unlocked, or just a flat 10-piece. And I assume that's probably what that's going to be. Of course, you'll still have to, get shards for them, but at least you'll be able to have them unlocked, or if you do have them unlocked, you'll just kind of get it. So this actually, I'm not mad at this. This is actually pretty cool. I don't know if I've ever seen an event like this before in COD. I don't even know if there's an event. Maybe there is one like this in Rock. And if so, it probably came after I stopped playing. But this is nice to me because this is a sign-in event where you're getting heroes. Now, sure, you could maybe make the argument, maybe I'd rather have other materials, so to speak. But it is a little different pace, so I don't know if I could really be mad at something like this when you consider that how many people often talk about, man, we'd love... And don't get me wrong, do I think this is nice to see a different approach for the types of rewards you're getting? Sure. However, I will say this once again, I still very much feel that we need to have something in place where all heroes eventually get added to gold chests, right? Or to the free chest, depending on tiers. And that could be after a period of time, especially if you're talking about new releases and them being paywall gated or being paywall / premium currency gated. And they end up getting added there maybe 2 to 3 months, right? Maybe let one season go by, and like something like 2 to 3 months afterwards, they get added, not removed from how you can currently obtain them, but they get added to a gold chest or silver chest. That would be nice. And I think to me, that very much feels like the future, because it's already going to take free to play low spend, and once again, massive amount of time, even just to get any of those legendaries maxed out. So it's not as though all of a sudden, because you're doing something like that, it is going to allow for them to, max out every legendary hero within a month. One of the other little caveats I would love to see them do something like this as well is once you have a hero maxed out, that hero is temporarily removed from gold chest or silver chest, so that way you have a higher percentage chance spread out from less heroes rather than more heroes there. Even though it isn't probably going to be a massive increase in percentage chances, it will still be a little bit. So something like that I would even love to see as well. Anyways, those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys think on what we showed off so far here for a little first look image review. This has been cool, right? I think the thing I'm probably most excited about is the exchange house. I think that, without a doubt, the map is probably the next thing I'm really excited about. The hero skill switching I think is going to be really cool. But for me, I think it's the map. And hopefully we'll end up seeing a little bit more there too as well once the update drops and we end up getting in for the first round for those 119 kingdoms going into Season of Strife initially. All right, okie dokie artichokes, that's it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, until next time, I'll catch you later.